24, 25, well before the 2000, I've been in this stuff, and we didn't have the knowledge of location. And I believed in the concept of a city today will become it was once a village today will become a city tomorrow. Don't wait to buy land, you buy land. Wait, I believe, because I started propagating all that in the 90s. And people latched up on that, but I began to modify that as we moved on. So number one will be location, because I realized that there are some locations that if you buy into it, and there are no developments that will help in the development of that area, except you are the one that wants to bring the development to develop that area, it may take a while for those places to appreciate. So I give you a power. When I bought the first large expanse of land we bought in 2001, we bought 50 acres in a particular place in Ikorodu. When I was buying those land in 50 acres in 2001, we were buying it for 300,000 per acre, as 50,000 per plot. But in another place, another location, they were said, which is so I had 50 acres in Ikorodu, but Arepo is on the Lagos-Ibadan Express Road aspect. Arepo was like another forest in those days, and they were selling a plot of land in Arepo then for 200,000.
And it has water. Is waterlogged.
Water. So I'm like 100,000. How can I buy something when I can buy 1 acre for 300? So I went to Ikorodu. But fast forward now, the land in Arepo now is 50 million. The Ikorodu that I bought 23 years ago, to sell it for 3 million now is still a struggle. Why? Development. Because in Arepo, they had journalists came in there. By virtue of the journalists, I said the journalists started writing against the government in the newspaper in the days of Benga Daniel. They wrote against him, he brought light. They wrote against him, he did road. Before you know it, pap, the whole place appreciated. And now the place I was in, there, I have like 200 acres there, sea of everything. But it's still like I'm the only light there doing development. I've done road, I've done light, I've done everything. But it has not moved as much as the Arepo has moved. So location. Number two thing I realized is in trying to help poor people, you may end up becoming poor.
In
trying to help poor people, you may end up becoming poor. Because you see, I've got 2 PhDs and I've studied poverty on a global scale. And that's my area. When it comes to poverty, and poverty is a spirit, poverty is a mindset, poverty is an habit, poverty is a lifestyle, poverty is a state. 5 levels of poverty. When you see someone that is poor,
can you repeat that part? Poverty
a spirit,
poverty is a mindset.
The mindset,
Poverty
the lifestyle, the habits.
Yeah. Poverty is a state. So when you see people that are poor, you see them in a state of poverty. They don't dress well, they don't eat well, they can't take bills. So say, this person is poor. If they are coming in contact with religion, once we see a state of poverty, we go to the spirit realm. Every spirit of poverty, that. So we cast out demons, we do this. So now you have seen the state of poverty. You have dealt with the spirit of poverty. But there are 3 things in between: the mindset, the habit, and the lifestyle. Now, even though you have casted out the spirit of poverty, the spirit of poverty is not omnipresent. Only God is omnipresent. So evil is not omnipresent. Evil installs softwares and systems to perpetuate their work because they steal from God's idea. God created one man. He never created another man. And every other man was in the one man. God planted only one tree. Every tree was in that first tree. God created one ocean, one fish. Everything was inside because it's the seed principle. The seed of creation is in the first creation. So the devil copies that. So when you deal with the spirit of poverty, the software that perpetuates poverty has already been installed is the mindset. So when people are poor, it's more of a mindset. And that mindset, you can cast out the spirit of poverty with one prophetic anointed prayer. But the mindset of poverty takes time. And ignorance is not a demon. You can't cast it out. The only solution to ignorance is enlightenment. Eyes don't see. As you are looking at me now, it's because you have light. Once everywhere is dark, you can't see. So everybody is blind. But when light shines, your eyes can now see. That's why it is called enlightenment. In him was life, and life was the light of men, and the light shines in darkness, and darkness cannot comprehend it. So enlightenment is the entrance of knowledge. So in order for you to be free, you need to deal with the spirit, but you now need to deal with the mindset of poverty. So when you go into real estate and you are dealing with poor people, I want to help poor people, They are operating in a different mindset. They are operating in a different paradigm. And at the end of the day, they are going to mess you up if you don't know how to manage their poverty and factor in their poverty mindset in your business model. That's why a lot of people fail in Nigeria, because they run a business model, they've read all kinds of foreign books, they've gone to all kinds of foreign school, and they don't understand local knowledge and local intelligence. They don't understand the local market and the local customer to understand that the psychology of your market should determine the business model you run and the way you run things. And even though there are things that are general to people, there are things that are unique to Nigerians. And that's one of the things that I have learned. When you are dealing with poor people, you need to factor in a lot of things, because poor people can lead you to poverty. Now, I've said about this selling small, some dear that people are doing. A lot of real estate companies have got themselves into trouble because they're trying to help poor people. So please explain to me, how do you think it's going to work? You are selling a land of 1 million or 500,000. Somebody cannot afford 500 kishi or 1 million kishi. Could do 1 million, could do 500. And then you now tell him, don't worry, we love you, want to help you. Pay 50,000 deposits. Spread the balance over 24 months. It's a recipe for disaster. You are trying to help the poor man, but you are going to end up in trouble. So pay small. You have paid 50,000. He now spends 2 years to pay 500. Somebody that spends 2 years to pay 500, when it's time to do documentation, document is 350. Where will he see 350? KFO is not in installment. So approval is not in installment. So when he now wants to do document, he doesn't have 350. So at the end of the day, he has finished paying for land. The land is still with you, but he cannot pay for document. And because he can't pay for document, we're in a stalemate. So as I'm talking to you right now, I have over 2 billion naira outside that people are owing me, because they are finished paying for land. Some of them could not finish paying. Somebody is paying for 500 or 100 or 1 million over 2 years. He paid for 6 months, he lost his job. He paid for 8 months, his wife got pregnant. He paid for 3 months, landlord. So you have all kinds of cases. But if you are dealing with a rich person, you won't be talking about that. They pay 5 million cash or 10 million or 20 million, and you're moving on. So in trying to help poor people, you may end up in poverty. And now the same people that I was thinking I was trying to help, pay small. Now, today, EFCC, tomorrow, police, I pay for land. They now say I should come and pay for document. They didn't tell me at the beginning, even though it is documented, they won't even read, because Nigerians hardly read terms and conditions. So it is when trouble comes, they will now begin to say you deceive guys, and he calls himself a pastor. So I've learned so many lessons, so my brother. Well, let me stop with that one.
Amazing.
Temi, you have question?
My question would ride on the last thing you just said, Sam. You know, selling to the rich is beautiful, it's attractive. But you and I know that it does not come so easily at the beginning, especially if you yourself, you are not rich in your mind. I was talking to a mentor recently, and then she said that some 20 years ago, someone wanted to buy a property with her. And then she was asking, the man wanted a 10-bedroom white house in Abuja. She's into real estate. And then she said, she was saying, but son, you have only one son. Why did you buy a 10-bedroom mansion? Like, what? She said her mind could not carry that to her. To her, she was saving him money. But there's this other small, fine penthouse, 3-story building, three-bedroom flats, just buy this one. He said the man ended up buying that 3-bedroom from her, and then still went ahead to go and buy his 10-bedroom white mansion, which her mind could not carry her to sell to him. So she shared this with me, and I was like, wow. So my question, looking at that, it takes a level of growth. Even when I'm talking to Dr. Stevie sometimes, I'm like, are you even normal? Like, your mind is just, you are the craziest I know. How do you recommend that one begins to build their mind to that level, you know, when selling to the rich becomes easier?
Okay. Now, please understand this. in the real estate business and in most business, you need to identify your target audience. We have niche market and we have mass market. I am not saying don't sell to the poor. The question was what mistake. Now I'm telling you, if you are going to sell to the poor, you need to understand the psychology of the poor and factor it into your business model. We did not. So it doesn't mean you won't sell to the poor. But in order, I teach people now, and they have done it successfully. They have been able to sell the same way, the same things I did that I made mistakes in. My children are doing it now, and it's not a mistake. Why? Because I've gotten the way out and I've given it to them. So when you are selling to people at the bottom of the ladder, you need to do what I call educational marketing. You see, customers are always right, confused but right, ignorant but right, illiterate but right. So your responsibility to realize that while I'm trying to sell to these people, I'm not just trying to sell to them and get their money. I'm trying to educate them to understand the value of what I'm selling to them so that they can open up themselves to do what they can do to help the process. So mass market is powerful because it gives you cash flow. Many people that go into estate, we didn't all start with money now. My first 10 acre, I didn't pay any money. It's other people's money. I just so no, there's no problem in selling to mass market, but understand the formula so that it will be your business model. And the solution is educational marketing. So that as to people, number one, all your documentation is very clean and clear from day one. And you educate them from day one. Mama, you so you are educating them. Because that person that you think is poor, if the person wants to go for burial, they know how to raise money. If that person wants to dance, they know how to raise money. The reason why they are not raising money for what is valuable to them is their mindset. So when you educate them, you don't just see them as a customer, you see them as a mentee that you are trying to transform. By the time you educate them, you'll be shocked that many of those people will begin to put money into that same thing and they'll be able to build. So as the person is doing this payment for land, they are saving money, doing a job, doing cooperative and planning that thing that will help them to do documentation and also build. So it's just for you to know what to do. And when it comes to selling to the rich, you cannot attract who you are not. So when it comes to riches, it's not about what you have, it's about who you have become. You have to be rich to attract riches. You have to be attract wealth. So being comes before doing, comes before having. So you be, then you do, then you have. A lot of people are, what must I do to be rich? No, who must I become? And that is what wealth mentality is all about. Because entrepreneurship is a spirit, it's from inside out. Wealth is inside out. So once you begin to develop yourself to become it, it will be difficult for you to be able to attract it. And that's why we try to help people to understand that whether it's 1,000, 10,000, 1 million, 100 million, 1 billion is one. It's the number of zero that matters. So it's all in your mind. You can make 1 million naira with ease. You can also make 1 billion with ease. It's just an internal journey. So the journey, making 1 billion is not a problem. Making 100 million is not a problem. Believing you can make it is the problem. And that is where internal transformation comes from.
Powerful. I mean, that is very, very powerful. My next question will be, because I struggle with this for a long time, for a very, very long time. And I think it's because also I started as a church boy and I see us having this issue. How important is strategic relationship in this journey of building wealth? For example, I didn't know for a long time that playing golf attracts certain kind of people. I didn't know for a long time. In fact, when I hear a former president, a governor, I run away. In fact, I've had opportunity, I've been invited to also work for mentor, I refused to go. And recently, as things started bringing me to meeting President Olusegun Obasanjo and a couple of people, after such meeting, the caliber of people reach out to me and begin to like, these are the people I've been looking for to do business with me. I refuse. So it's seeing my video with Obasanjo, now you are willing to do business. Okay, what are people missing? You know, in this building wealth, high tickets connecting and their own mind. Oh, I don't want to be associated with this kind of person. Oh, I don't want to be this. How are we missing it in that area, and how do we fix that part?
Well, it's amazing, but that's why I wonder the kind of Bible people are reading and the way they are interpreting it. But the bottom line is who you know plus what you determines how you go.
Who you know
plus what you know determines how. It's the same in your Christianity, it's the same in the workplace. For you to be powerful in God, you need to know God. You need to know the word of God. And then you are powerful in God. Who you know, God. What you know, the word of God, makes you anointed, makes you powerful. In the same vein, any area of life that you want to become exceptional, who you know plus what you know determines how far you go. And the challenge with a lot of people is they don't know the right people, and neither do they know the right things, because they make light of it. And that's why I have issues with people that do not appreciate the time that you give to them and the power of access that you give to them and the information that you make available to them. Because unfortunately, when people don't pay, they don't pay attention. And that's because of the pastoral, so you want to do just to help people. But sometimes you're like, look, all these free things, these people don't appreciate it. But you need to put a balance to it. So who you know and what you know determines how far you go. So if you want to matter in life, you need to know the right people. Strategic relationships are very key. Everything that God will do in your life, He will use people. God will not come down. When God wants to bless you, He will connect you to people. When the devil wants to mess up your life, He will connect you with people. So every problem in your life is coming through people. Every blessing in your life is coming through people. So you need to know people. And then when you have to understand this. There are, but I know people. No, strategic relationship is about knowing the right kind of people. You don't body your life, but you need the right kind of people. So let me break it down. Now, there are people that you know, but they don't know you. So people that you know that don't know you cannot help you. There are people that know you, but you don't know them. But because you don't know them, even though they can help you, you will not be able to open up to receive. So that one too will not help you. They are help you, but because you don't know that they know you, you will just be struggling. You might even be struggling looking for something that they will gladly give to you, but because you don't know them, they know you, but you don't know them. You will not be able to benefit from it. Now, I'm just meeting Temi for the first time. I don't know her. I've never heard of her. But now, she knows School of Money book. So now, because I didn't know her, maybe she has a lot of heavy connection now that can help me. But because I don't know, she knows me, but I don't know her. So, I've been going to Abuja. If I knew, I would have said, oh, Temi, Abuja, Bankero, I would have benefited from that. But because she knows me and I don't know her, I'm not benefiting. So, it's not about I know people. The people you know, do they know you? It's not about people know me. The people that know you, do you know them? You see, a lot of people can have 100,000 followers on Instagram, but they don't know their followers. Because the followers know them, but they don't know. So it's about understanding that you need to be strategic to ensure that you know the right people and you do what you can do to let them know you, so that that link can be complete. And then there are people that are very powerful, that they can help you, but they are not interested in you. And there are people that are interested in you, but they are not powerful enough to help you. So you need to balance that again. So there are a lot of, when it comes to relationship, I teach my mentee, there are connections, there are different threads. Know me, I know you, you know me, I know you, you know. So that, number one, interest and power. Your family, your friends, your siblings, they are so interested in you, but they can't help you. When you have 10,000 problem or 200 million problem, they're more, I pray for him, they'll pity you. They will, but they are not powerful help you, but they are not interested in you. They can carry their side chick to Dubai and spend $10 million, and to you that needs 1 million, they are not interested in you. You are not. They can buy a car of 8 million for a 200 level girl that is their side chick. They are powerful enough, but you, they are not interested in you. So how do you get people that are powerful to be interested in you? Those are all things we teach when we mentor people, so that they can know how to strategically position themselves and all the things they need to do to make sure that all this equation is complete. And once people do this, it will help their journey in life.
Wow, powerful, powerful. Because of your time, I'll ask one more question. If Temi has one, we'll wrap it up. How has mentorship change your own life, and how do people connect with great mentors, right? Because oftentimes you see people say, yes, all these mentors, they are too expensive, they are these, they are. I'm organizing the most expensive conference, in my life. It's going to cost me $3 million, Dallas, London. We're having 2,000 in Dallas, 4,000 in London, massive. And I'm, bringing my real estate mentor, Grant Cardone, along with me in all of those journeys. And people are like, it costs you money. Why pay? Is it because you have the money? But I'm saying to them, what I will access, right? What this will begin to open is far more than what I'm spending. So how do people begin to understand and value the cost implication as well for mentorship?
Okay, see, part of the world, people don't have respect for intellectual properties because they don't see it as something that is tangible. Even in the Bible, less of the greater. And things that people need to understand is mentorship is just amazing. It's a leverage that transforms your life. I think it was a report that said, if I've seen Father, it's because I've stood on the shoulders of others. And that's what mentorship does. It helps you to avoid mistakes. It helps you to leverage from this relationship. And it helps you to be able to have a clear path that fast tracks your journey. So for me, mentorship has helped me, both direct mentorship and indirect mentorship, through reading people's books, their seminars, paying for their books, paying for conferences, and personal mentorship, having to sit down, go under their tutelage, and having to have a relationship with them and investing in building that relationship over the decades. It's very, very key. And that's what I'm doing for my own mentee today. I run the Billionaires Conclave. You know a lot of the guys there, and many of them over the years, they are doing big stuff. But it's been years of also pouring into people the same way people are pouring in, so that we can raise a tribe of people that will be kingdom ambassadors to change the narrative of the continent and become global players. So anyone listening to me right now, you need a mentor. You need one man may not be able to service every area of your life, but for every aspect of life where you want to become successful, you need a mentor. If you need to succeed relationally, you need a relational mentor, career mentor, spiritual mentor, financial mentor, and life. And if you are blessed, you now have somebody that can now cover for 3 or 4 of that area. So they can mentor you spiritually, mentor you in business, mentor you in career. That's one of my own USP. I'm a pastor, I'm an apostle. So people come under me spiritually, they are covered prophetically, they have prophetic covering, they have prophetic direction. Relationally, it's an area I can help them financially. Career, so it's like, boy, yeah, let's go. And that's one of the things, that's why people come. It's like this one. You can get everything in one package, so just go, it's cheaper. So people come because it's a full package. So people need to be willing to pay for mentorship, because when people don't pay, they don't pay attention. I see people, when I went, like I told you, I went for a meeting in Europe because we have an estate there. I was trying to push some stuff. Some people were coming late for the meeting. With the morning session we did here on Wednesday was 10 to 12. So we said, okay, we're going to do 90 minutes and we'll go to the estate for it. So we left the place by 11:30. And as we were on the way to the estate to go and do the physical aspect, somebody was calling, was just arriving at the venue 90 minutes after the meeting started. She told us, 90 minutes after. It's because it was free. When people pay, they pay attention. But when people don't pay, they don't pay attention. Most of the things we've learned in church, why has it not changed our life? Because we are not paying. You go to church, your pastor does everything free for you. You just enjoy it. That's why you think tomorrow another message will come. If you are paid 10, you not take it serious. So many times when people don't pay for mentorship, they don't even know that they are shooting themselves in the leg, because paying disciplines you to take action.
Richard, before Temi, Frank Zion on Facebook is posted a question too many times. So let me just take your question. Will be the only one. Don't worry. The rest of you, I will answer as many of your questions as possible, but Doctor has to leave fast. It says, if you have been involved in real estate for many lengths of time, you have heard it said over and over again, location. It said, but I have had nationally recognized experts say that over and over the media. Why is location really considered important in real estate?
Anyway, location matters because it helps you to know how fast your money can appreciate. Because see, we are going into real estate for the purpose of Many reasons. So when people come to me, want to ask, what's your investment purpose? What's your risk appetite? What's your, how much are you bringing on the table? How long? And all those questions we ask in consulting. But so location matters because of return on investment. There are places you invest in where return on investment will not be as powerful. Just today, I still had a meeting. I'm selling one of our properties in South Africa. And the reason why I'm selling the property is because the return on investment has turned out to be lower than what I expect. By the time we collect rent in 1 month, the bills are becoming more than, so the what is left is not worth it. I can get more money in Rwanda. I can get more money in another country. So I'm pushing that into the Rwanda, because Rwanda, in 5 years, the money I will use to buy the house will be back in 5 years. So that's why you look at location, return on investment. Will this place appreciate faster? There are places where people, in the days when I was telling people about all this Lekki, phase 1, phase 2, whatever, in those days, there was a time when the land was appreciating by 500,000 every week. Every week, 500,000, 500,000, every week. And land that was bought for 200,000 ended up selling for 30 million. So, but there are places where land was bought for 200,000 at the same time. Until now, the land is just 8 million. So, where my parents live, in the Kotuekbe, they bought the land, but now the land is still, they live there. If they have paid that same amount to buy land in another area or somewhere else, it will be something else. So the purpose of looking at location is return on investment and high yield and faster yield.
Okay, Temi, your last question, we'll let Dr. go and we'll continue. You guys, I'm here, and Temi still has more questions for me, and I'll be answering as well.
Okay, yes. Majority of people on Zoom right here, they are people outside Nigeria. And if not all, I'm shocked to see one person from Abuja. I don't know how you got here, because this meeting was strictly for Nigerians in diaspora. So I want to ask Dr. very quickly that what's the common mistake you see Nigerians in diasporas making with investments, and how will you recommend they avoid such going forward? If you've noticed any, if you haven't, it's fine.
Yeah, I've noticed the majority of the problem that people have in diaspora is trusting the wrong people with their investments. That's trusting the wrong people with their investments. You left Nigeria, a poor man in the midst of a poor set of people, and then you go to the developed country, and then you get more money and sending the money to poor people to help you manage. And you think that they will carry the money and invest when they are hungry and they are still struggling. If you you do it. If your uncle in America sent money to you when you two were in Nigeria, you have never traveled before, don't you think that monkey they were baboon the chop? So most of the time, trusting the wrong people with their investment is a major mistake that people in diaspora make. So the first thing you need to do is investigate before you invest. Trust but verify. Don't ever hand over money to somebody that they have never handled before. That is any 60,000. Let's say somebody is earning 100,000 a month. In 1 year, his annual income is 1.2 million. You now send him $10,000 to help you buy land. You are handing over to him 3 years' income in one go, and you think that something will not go wrong. It might go wrong because mentality. It's not a demon. The mindset cannot handle it. If I will send another one, I will just beg you. Sorry, Lomaje. So most of it is because trusting the wrong people. That is why you need credible companies, credible organizations to deal with, so that you will have track record and there's a professionalism to what is being done. And then when anything goes wrong, you can hold somebody. If your brother chop your money, where you go carry and go. But if a company dupes you, there's a legal recourse you can take. So that's one of the major mistake I've seen people make. The second one, which I need to say, is they don't know how to maximize the opportunities that they have. You know, a lot of people, when they get into the Western world, because of poverty mentality, they mess up their credits and they are not able to leverage on the debt. Because if you get money, if you have a good credit, you can get as much as $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 Western world for less than 5%, and come and put it in something in Africa that can give you 20-30% return. But because they don't have good that, and many of them don't even leverage on those because they are afraid of things. But if you're afraid of making money, then it's difficult for you to actually make it. Well, that's the few I can say because of time.
Wow, ladies and gentlemen, come on, give it up for Dr. Olumide Emmanuel.
Okay, everyone, thank you very much for joining me. Thank you, Stephen. So, if you are not following me on social media, make sure you follow me, Olumide Emmanuel, on Instagram and Olumide Emmanuel on Twitter, the Olumide.Emmanuel on Facebook. And if you don't have the School of Money book, get a copy of the book. This is the Global Wealth Book, School of Money. Go to the website, olumideemmanuel.org. There's a secure payment platform there you can pay and get your copy. And God bless you. So take care of yourself, guys.
Thank you so much.
What's that?
So you should send me a number when I'm coming to Abuja to disturb you. Keke Rojo.
Yes, yes. I met you at a Pastor Sam Oye's church. You came to speak at the advanced conference 3 years ago.
Wow,
Yes.
that's yeah. Oh, I met you as well. We meet formally.
Yes, she's in charge of everything we do now, so she will be in touch. She will contact. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay, God bless you all. Bye.
Thank you, sir. Bye.
So, Temi, take it up. You have questions for me. Let me start answering.
Yes.
I
Thank
think
you
that's
so
a fantastic session, isn't it?
Yes,
I mean, what do you
yes,
think
it
about
was.
mentioning it and doing both what we intended
Yes.
and mine?
Yeah, so everyone who is on Zoom, you are actually very, very blessed. What you just had now was not supposed to be your class. I hope you have stopped streaming on YouTube and Facebook and everything like that. Jamie, please stop streaming. They've had their class on Facebook. So everybody who is here, I see Abby, Adago, Adiola. Quickly, I'm really curious. I want to know what city and country you are joining us from. I'm just very curious. I want to know. I want to know. Please, everyone, just drop your location in the comments. So this class, I mean, that class was just, it was a big one for us here as a giant bonus for being here, right? And then we are now in class to take you on real estate investment, okay? I see, so Akiwumi Sunday Emmanuel, how did you get a link to register for this class? I need to question you. How did you get the link to join this class? You were not supposed to be here. Okay, I see my Londoners, fantastic. Okay, Dubai, okay, Hertfordshire, UK, fantastic. Okay, awesome, fantastic, good. So this class now is to discuss with you how can you, Mackenzie Ghana, okay, AB Canada, okay, awesome. How can you make money, by investing in real estate in Nigeria, US, Dubai, and UK. Now, I want to know, thank you all for giving me your location. Thank you so much. Now, as a second level of question, I'm also curious to know what part of the country, what part of the world, what country of the world are you really interested in investing in? Is it, hey, Tasmania, Australia, hi. Awesome. When I saw a son from down, like, whoa, Australia, I was excited. Okay, Samuel Ogudapo, amazing. So, I want to know, so what parts of the world are you considering among these 3 countries? I want to know, so that will really, channel our energy and our conversation going forward. Are you thinking of Nigeria, UK, US, or Dubai? Just type one country in the comments. Are you thinking of UK? Just say thinking of, so that I won't confuse it to your location. Just say thinking of, now put the word there, the country there. So Ogwag, please let me know. Adagon, please let me know. Session, Charles, let me know. So thinking of Dubai, fantastic. Oh wow, it seems we are having more Dubai. Okay, So thinking of US and Nigeria, thinking of Nigeria, okay. Let me see about 10 more, UK and Nigeria, UK, oh wow. It seems everybody is mixed though. Thinking of Nigeria, thinking of Dubai. Okay, now US, somebody thinking of US, finally. Okay, but I think we have more of Dubai, Nigeria, and UK. Okay, I think we have more of Dubai, Nigeria, and UK. Okay, fantastic. So, Doctor, I can't see your video anymore. I wonder if you're still here. I have a couple of questions for you, and we will start from where people's energies are residing more in. It's looking like Dubai's have it. So I will share a couple of things that I know about investing in Dubai. Okay, Doctor, you can still have a moment while I share my tale of woe with Dubai. So it happened that in 2017, my business had done very well in my home country, Nigeria. I think 2016, I hit ₦1 million in 3 weeks, and it became my monthly income from that August 2016, August, September, October, November, December, January, all through. I was making a minimum of ₦1 million every month. So by the time it was, let me see, July, I felt, April, I felt, let me reward my family, my children, and my husband with our very first international vacation. And so we traveled. So I have a son who was 3 months old then. So I traveled with my mother-in-law with us. That let's go, Mama, so that you can take care of my kids for me, And then while we were there, from the airport, they came with all that, come with what's it called now? Come and get what's that cruise? Is it Dubai? That cruise? Come for that cruise, and then they used Lexus. Oh my God. They used Lexus, come and pick us at the hotel where we stayed, and then they were just so insistent. Invest. How much do you have now? Who has seen those people before? I see Ogbag nodding his head. Have you guys seen those guys before? Let me know. And then we just put in, I think maybe like $500 or so from our money. Then my eye was just streaking that I had money. I had about 10 million or so. Let me just start investing in Dubai. According to them, anytime you're in Dubai, you have a free place to stay. You won't ever have to, pay for rent, and they help you manage it. His name is Sean Properties. They are associated with Sheraton Hotels in Nigeria. Long story short, we left Dubai. I came back to Nigeria, and I sent them $5,000 as my first deposit, according to them, for paperwork. After I sent the money, who understands the paro in Yoruba? Like, it became a graveyard. Silence, nothing from them again. And that was how I knew that something was wrong. The guy's number stopped going through. He stopped responding to messages. I couldn't reach him anymore. And then we now traveled again to Dubai in 2018 on our way to London, and we went to the location, and we could not meet. We did not meet anybody. We asked security guys, said, "Oh, they've moved. That they are fraudulent guys." And then how much did you pay them? I said, "Oh, we paid them $5,000. We paid a Naira person. The Naira person now send them the dollars and did. I said, any receipt, any bank, anything, nothing." And so from there, I just had a very, very bitter experience about investing internationally. Unfortunately for me, I actually had people like Dr. Stephen Akintayo right there who I could have asked. And when he found that, he was so angry. He said, "Why would you ever invest in, and you don't tell me, what is your problem?" And of course it was a major setback for me, because it's held me back from doing a lot of things in the future. And later on again, I began to invest in high risk investments of crypto. The guy took the money into Forex. And that was how by December 2018, I had lost over 150 million Naira. Right. And it was my money and investors' money. So it became really, so I've had my own fair share, of all of this. And now we are all, I mean, I am just looking, what's the next step? What is real? What can I do? What should I be mindful of? I don't know if anybody else who has, a similar result, story, or have experienced something close to that, and they can relate to this. And in this meeting, I just hope that you would have your questions answered. You would learn how you can invest right, what to look out for, and the common mistakes to avoid. And based on that, I will start with the question I ended with Dr. Olumide, because I know that to a large extent, this will be the first time you will be attempting to do something like this. And it is possible you've made some mistakes. And that's why I'm now here to ask my mentor, Dr. Akintayo, what's the common mistakes you noticed that a lot of us make when it comes to real estate investment, especially in the abroad? Okay, like what are the common ones we make that really mess us up, and what should we do instead? I think that can take us, through the whole class, actually.
Well, thank you. Good question, and welcome everyone. I'm excited that we have a lot of you guys in diaspora. I actually live now in Dubai, even though, of course, I come to Nigeria often. And we do real estate in UK, US, Dubai, Nigeria as well. And I'm happy that Temi and I have partnered to begin to have these weekly sessions with those of you in diaspora, just to educate you and help you understand how real estate work and how you need support. The part Temi did not tell you guys was that when she initially heard of those guys, she actually called me, right, about investing, and she told me all the opportunities that she could, anytime she go to Dubai, she was going to stay in a hotel. And I remember telling her, I said, hold on. I said, in fact, she just moved to, because she called me for 2 things or 3 things. She just waved it to, let's go to the other things I called you for. Of course, it was when she now lost the money, like the prodigal daughter. She came back. She came back and said, I should have listened. Some of us, like, when we have money, it's like the thing is tricking us. It's like, spend me. And you just want to just throw the money away. But the rule is that you need people who have gone ahead. And the rule of mentorship, I always say, is that the person who put a cloth on you, you must check the one he's wearing. Like Dr. Olumide Emmanuel said, the mistake many in diaspora make is that they will give their money to family members who have been begging them for £500, and they even told them they don't have enough money. Now, suddenly you told the same person to go help you negotiate a property of £50,000. If you're in the person's shoe, shouldn't the person see you as greedy, as selfish, as self-centered? Right? So I laugh when I see Africans in diaspora rely on family members for real estate investment. So I call that the first mistake, right? With technology now, you can do all your real estate research, confirmation yourself. And I've said this several times. I said, who wants to buy property in East London, right? Now calls his relative in Liverpool, okay? And say, because maybe I'm in US and you are in UK, go to East London and go and help me check the property. We don't do that, right? We rely on getting an agent, isn't it? If I'm correct, you're correct. We rely on getting an agent in the UK or in the US, right? Give the person our budgets and rely on the person getting us something solid. We rely on our lawyers and all the proper process. But when it comes to Africa, almost as if we want to brag to family members that we have real estate assets, we begin to engage all of them. And at the end of the day, when they are part of those who end up taking us to the wrong company, telling us it's cheaper. If I want to first thing you always hear your family members say when you're investing in Africa, if you agree, I agree, is that they are trying to scam you. If you agree to this type, I agree. Anytime you tell a family member you're trying to do a real estate investment, right? And you didn't go through them, the first thing they're going to tell is that they're trying to scam you, right? That's the first, as no, they're trying to protect you. The second thing you're going to hear from them is that they have somebody who is ready to sell it cheaper. If you agree, type I agree. And that these guys are trying to, and that's one of the things I always say, that it's hard for people to scam you if you're not greedy. Right? It's difficult, right? It requires you wanting some level of cheapness in what you're trying to buy, right? For people to scam you. There's that level, because I remember like the story of the Dubai property Temi was talking about. They assured her that anytime she comes to Dubai, anytime, which was not realistic, she has hotel accommodation free of charge. Now, and they're asking you that all you need to pay is $10,000. Now, do the maths now. How much is this hotel accommodation? They also promised a couple of things. And when she was telling me, I just said, calm down, let's investigate. Because these many things they are promising, right? We need to calculate the cost of these things versus the cost of the real thing they are trying to sell to you. Right? And this is where people then miss it and make a lot of mistake. Dr. Olumide Emmanuel shared with you guys how many real estate companies, which were a mistake he made as well with his own estate, right? Will tell you come and be paying $200,000 every month to own a property. Right now, some of them are even doing it in Nigeria. They will tell you that 400,000, you have a property. 1 million, you have a property. Now you keep saying, right, that the other ones who are asking you to pay 5 million for the same location must be scammers, must be greedy. But hear this, and you should write this down. The audacity of anybody to charge you premium is a function of their confidence in delivering value. Can I say that again? The audacity of anybody to charge you what? Premium is a function of their what? Their confidence to offer you what? Value, isn't it? So, because I know what are the things I'm about to offer. So, I give you a typical example. Our estate, when we buy a land, let's say it's 100 acres. Do you know that 20 acres already goes on road? Already 20 acres out of that land, we have to do road there. Another 20 acres goes to recreation, meaning we're only having 60 acres to sell. And even that 60 acres will divide into two. A portion will build our own house like schools, hotel, and houses. Then the remaining 30 we sell. Now, how do you expect us to sell at the same price as a man who just say, come and buy, do corner piece? He didn't have plan for road, no plan for drainage, no plan for electricity, no plan for any infrastructure. Right? And you expect the pricing to be the same. So the first thing you want to do is to work on just not taking cheap. So first thing, be careful with family members. Second thing, be careful with cheap properties anywhere in the world. If it's cheap, why is it cheap? And cheap is relative. It's relative. Please, let me say this again. Cheap is relative. E.g., if you left Nigeria 10 years ago, you need to understand that cheap is relative to you, because as at the time you were last in Nigeria, property were going for as low as what? 100,000, 200,000.
Yeah.
As of today, right, credible properties are going for 10 million, 20 million. So if somebody now tells you they have one of what? 1 million, you will use your sense to say, oh, then it used to be what? 100,000, 1 million. It should be legit, isn't it? Meanwhile, they probably are what? Are about to scam you. Because maybe price of property in that area has what? Has gone up. And I'll give you a typical example. Look at Aja 10 years ago. With 500,000 to 1 million, you get a good land in Aja. Ladies and gentlemen, anybody telling you to come and buy a land in Aja for 75 million, I am guaranteeing you the place is waterlogged. That's if the document is legit. Meaning the same Aja, if you want to buy a land, dry land, C of O, you are looking at 120 million to 200 million. In the same agenda that just 10 years ago, with 1 million, you still get a plot. So the rate of capital appreciation in particularly Lagos, right, is ludicrous. It doesn't even make any sense. Particularly in certain locations in Lagos, Ibejuleki, Aja, those axes, island axes. So you need to, number 3, understand the real current valuation, current pricing. So I'll give you an example. In Dubai, before Expo 2020, you will still get a 1-bedroom apartment for 600,000 dirhams, right? You will still get for 700,000 dirhams, 1-bedroom apartment. After Expo 2020, same property are now going for what? Guess what? 900,000, 1.1 million dirhams. Some are even 1.2 million dirhams, right? Our office in Dubai now, they just send us a letter. Heavy increase in rent, right? I mean, everything is just going up and up and up. Thank God they even have a rule in Dubai that landlord must not increase rent more than 20%, right? I think every year or every 2 years. If not for that, some of them will have increased it by 100%. So if you don't understand, I hope we are learning. If we're learning, type I'm learning. So if you don't understand this, maybe the last time you negotiated property in Dubai was 2 years ago, right? There is an amount you expect the price to be, isn't it? So now when you are hearing somebody tell you it's 1.1 million, say, they want to scam me. You see them? They don't come again. So it's very important that you do price evaluation at this moment, as of today. What is the prices, okay, of property now in this location I am trying to what? To buy, so that you have the current realistic price point before you go into it. So I'm going to stop there. So there are many more, but I'm stopping there.
Thank you so much, Doc. Thank you for sharing all of that. People are learning. Amazing. So I want to take your questions. All right. Those who have spoken, I want to push him a little, if there is still time for him to talk about land banking. I know how much land banking has been of massive, has brought massive returns, right? Both to you and to GTEX clients, right? And I would also like to ask you, how can people here benefit from a feature like that? I'm aware of location, yes, but what's the process if one wants to benefit from land banking, number one, and also benefit from rentals, number two? Or let me say, let me look at land banking first, and then I'll now ask you a next question and wrap up with, what are the next steps you would recommend someone takes? That, okay, somebody is ready now to begin their journey. Can you give us a list of steps that we can take to begin to make money from real estate? Well, I'll go through the chats and I'll see if there are questions. Somebody says, oh, Nina already asked, how you start with real estate investment for beginners? So Nina already asked the question. Then Sam said, is Abuja a good place to invest in real estate? Absolutely, yes. But I would let Doctor to please take my question first on the opportunities available in land banking. What is land banking? If you just spend a few minutes just to share on that. And then we'll now wrap up with the question of what are the steps that we can follow to move forward.
Beautiful. So I would advise that maybe next week we can focus on, since this is a weekly event and old participants can still come. Next week we can focus on rental income, so that today we just focus more on the land banking, so that we can wrap up by 7. My advice, starting land banking. So let me share some with my own story. I started commercially. I started real estate as a property broker. So I used to sell for companies and I get commission. This was almost 15 years ago now. That's how I started. However, 7 years ago, I then went into it as a business. So how did I start? I started with land banking. Like Dr. Olumide Emmanuel said, I was lucky to get good locations, even though it was over years and I don't even understand. I mean, today now, give me the map of Nigeria, I will break it down for you. If I throw me anywhere, I can tell you whether land banking will work there or not. UK, US, Australia, I would, because we've now learned it over time. I've even gone to Harvard to even get to have a global perspective to this whole thing. So my first deal was I bought some properties, some 50 acres, some 100 acres. And some of them I got them for as low as 750,000 7 years ago. Today, one is going for 10 million per plot. Another is going for 15 million. So multiply, right? 10 million by 6 by 50. 10 million by 6 by 100. Right? And I didn't stop. I just kept that momentum. And this is how you really build wealth. This is how you become so wealthy. A lot of time today, I was with President Olusegun Obasanjo. We're hosting in Dubai for a leadership conference in July 20th to 22nd. Because we had devotion and breakfast together, one of the conversations I was having with Baba was how Baba got some of the properties that he has today since the 70s. The challenge, and that's why social media can be very deceptive, because anything they throw out there that you take, right? If they tell you a politician stole money to acquire something, because he's a politician, you just will pick that, whether it's true or not, they've put it out there. And that's the secret of a lot of pastors that you know as well. Some of them 40 years ago bought some land. In fact, Pastor Matthew Ashimolo was sharing recently, because the man is 70. So over 40 years ago, he was a young man in Lagos, and he was negotiating Opebi. Opebi was going for 1,000 naira. Agege was going for 500 naira. But can you believe that? Wow. Today, you heard me, right? 1,000 naira and 500 naira. Today you and I know the value. In fact, he said I couldn't afford that 1,000 naira then because his own salary was 16 naira. Right? That was his salary there. So, wow. Of course, years later, he still came to buy the same Opebi for 10 million. But he wished he bought it when it was 1,000. Okay? He really wish he did. So the reality is that a lot of people have built wealth because they bought, imagine a land going for 1,000. How many plots do you think some of them bought? And the second strategy to land banking, pay in installment if you don't have bulk money. So don't put yourself into that, I don't have all the money, right? Okay, let me be paying every month. I just empty, because that's my secret. As I'm in Abeokuta and I've negotiated 2 properties. One is 465 acres, right? Another one is another. So years from now, I tell people, I said, the kind of wealth I'm going to be having, commanding, some of you will think I do money ritual 20 years from now, right? Because this money is just, and these are places that I've already done. And in my own case, I don't just know how to do land banking. I also have the skill in developing, like Dr. Olumide Emmanuel is telling you, in turning a place to a city. So some of my estates we're creating artificial lakes in them. We're doing the tallest, mall. I mean, we have all this. Some we're putting golf course. A land banking appreciate even better, right? So we're putting university, primary schools, all of those things in many of the properties we have. So the wisdom here is number one, do not despise the days of little beginning. So if you can't buy Lekki, if you can afford Ikorodu, of course, please, let me repeat, you need mentors here. This is not something you just do on your own because you won't even know the right location in Ikorodu to invest in, right? And it's not just every area that I appreciate. You already learned that from Dr. Olumide Emmanuel. So it's not just, but like somebody was chatting me on TikTok yesterday, Dr. Steven, don't you have land in Enugu? I had to explain to him, and I'll use that to answer the person that says, should I buy property in Abuja? I said to him, I said, Goldman Sachs research showed that the number one place that gives the highest return on investment in the whole of Africa is Lagos. Number two location is Abuja. Number three location is Port Harcourt. And Port Harcourt is the same with a particular city in South Africa. In the whole of Africa, and this is Africa, the whole of Africa. So, is it now, and I told the person, I said, in my village, I don't have a plot of land. Yeah, I mean, in Ogun State alone, we have thousands of acres. I still don't have a plot of land in my village. Because I still don't know what will bring, right, what will cause land to appreciate in my village. Are we learning at all now? So don't do real estate investment out of that sentiment of, I'm an Hausa man, I must buy an Hausa land. I'm a Yoruba man, I must buy Yoruba land. Or I'm an Igbo man, I must buy my village. Many people, and I say this, definition of poverty, buying what you don't need to impress people that don't care. Poverty is buying what you don't need to impress people that don't care. You think they do, but they really don't. Right? Temi and I work together now. What she wore yesterday, I can't remember. Most likely we did a meeting. As close as we are, I can't remember. So sometimes you think people are studying you that much. I'm sure tomorrow now, if we meet, I may not remember that she wore a yellow dress. Right? So you're so bothered about what would they think, how to make sure they know that we now have something in our village. We have developed our own city. We have, all those, we too, we are there. And these are things that continue to encourage poverty. Now, am I not going to ever build a house in my village? I will. These are things you do when you have made money. Many of you have not gotten there. One day, I want to give back. I'll build billions and billions of dollars in assets. Right? I'll go to my village. In fact, the funny thing, whatever I now do in my village will even still do well. Because I'll just put a university there. That's how you do this thing. I'll just put a university there. I'll put, because of what the magnitude of what I will do in my village, right? People will start coming to the village. I'll literally turn the entire village around. So this is how to think real estate. These are strategies around real estate. But land banking, let me define it, is the process of aggregation of land for the purpose of investment or development. Let me say it again. What is land banking? Land banking is the process of property aggregation for the purpose of development or investment. So in other words, I'm buying land not because I want to build my house. Because as you guys should know by now, if you are a good real estate student, your house is not an asset, it's a liability. Right? The house that you live in is not an asset. It is the house you buy or you rent out that is an asset because you are generating money from it. The house you live in is not generating any money for you. You even keep spending money to maintain it. Right? So it is the house that you build and you live in that has a significant source of income, source of liquid. Okay? Am I now saying you should buy your own house and live in it? No. But I'm saying smart entrepreneur, okay, first buy property for income before they buy the one they live in. I give you a typical example. How many of you know that Elon Musk does not have a house? If you know type, I know. If you don't know type, I don't know. Okay, if you know type, I know. If you don't know type, I don't know. Elon Musk, the richest man in the world, does not have a house of his own. Okay, so now the question is, many of you don't know. The question is, does that mean he does not have real estate assets? No, he has, but they are for business. He has the one for his Tesla plant. He has the one where he does the SpaceX rocket. But he just has learned that the house you live in is not what? It's not an asset. And at the level of Elon Musk, the kind of house he needs to live in must have a private jet, must be able to land a jet, must be able to do so many things, right? Helipad at the least. I mean, John Travolta's one has an airport in the house. Yes. So he has done the math. The guy is a smart guy. What he will pay in property tax if you were to own a house like that? So yeah, why not just rent it and pay rent and pay less? And let me keep instead that money I should use it to go and buy Twitter. I should use it to expand. So I hope you are learning, guys. If you are learning type, I'm learning. Okay? So don't be shocked that your Dr. Stephen, who has thousands of hectares, okay, may not have a house of his own that he built to live in. Don't be shocked. Because we have understood the concept that real estate should be primarily for revenue generation before the one we build to impress people, right? To say, oh, yeah, come to my mansion that I have built. In fact, even President Obasanjo did it. Where President Obasanjo live, right? In Alta is a farm, and he built his house there. So the farm is able to generate liquid to maintain the house. He lives in Abeokuta here. Okay, is name it. Again, the liquid that is generated with its family. So you must understand how real estate work, and that's why land banking is good, because in land banking, you make money while sleeping. You don't even put more money. Once you pay for the land, as long as you buy from the right source, right, you leave it for 5-10 years, it keeps appreciating. So I'll wrap up with 2 stories. Number 1, I have the story of a mentee of mine who was working in Chevron that time. And Chevron Cooperative started this land in Lekki, then Lekki Phase 2. According to him, the day they took him to this land, he entered canoe because the entire place was waterlogged. And they told him to pay 12 million. Meanwhile, everybody else, as at that time, in Lekki, you can still buy a plot of land for 50,000 to 500,000 as at that time, depending on which area. But the cooperative said they are going to do infrastructure, they are going to do this, that's why they are charging 12 million. Now, because it's cooperative, he paid. Cut the long story short, true story, guys. As at the time, you can go to my YouTube channel, you watch the video. So at the time I met this guy, he has since left Chevron, he's now broke, right? Needed money to send his daughter to school, his children to school rather, still lives in a rented apartment, and the only property he has in his life was that property he bought for 12 million. I want to ask you guys a question. Can you guess how much is now the worth of that property? Just guess, random guess. He bought it 12 million, and 15 years later was when I went to see the property to help him to sell it. Guess how much the value was worth 15 years later? Anybody?
120 million.
120 million. Good guess. Who else? Someone said 200 million.
Someone said 250.
You guys
Someone said 200.
220 million, ladies and gentlemen, 50 years later.
Wow.
And aside that 12 million he paid, he did nothing on that land. You know why? He bought it from a credible source where even though he didn't do anything, land didn't get missing. Which is why sometimes I always advise buy from a credible real estate company, because you need to have the headache of they will steal my land. I need to fence it around. Somebody just make sure you're dealing with credible organization, right? But if you do that, this is the kind of story you can be telling years from now of how you bought, and it's happening. So the second story is that of my student. 2.5 years ago, we got this estate in Ibejuleki. and I stood in front of it, waterlogged, palm trees everywhere. I said, ladies and gentlemen, come and, invest, pay how much was it then? 1.5 million.
Your video is frozen, sir. Or is it my end?
2.5 years ago. Ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, you were frozen for a second there.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now, yes.
Okay, so I was talking about, this one is my own estate. I stood in front of it 2.5 years ago, told people to come and buy for 1.5 million. Can anybody guess right now how much the value, 2.5 years, this one is not 15 years old, so don't mention ridiculous amount. But 2.5 years later, can anybody guess how much, okay, the property that I asked people to invest in, how much is it worth? Can anybody just guess?
So from 1.5, 2.5 years ago.
Yes.
Okay, I will say maybe that's gone up to like ×2 of that amount. So I'm thinking maybe 3 million.
3 million, good one. Who else? 2.5 years later, someone say 2.5 million, someone say 7 million, someone say 15 million. Okay, someone say 6 million. Who else? Someone say 12 million. Okay, good guesses, ladies and gentlemen. You all have good guesses, but the price as of today is 15 million and is still growing. Right?
Wow.
From
Wow.
5 million. And today is 15 million and is still growing. So it's risky, and let me tell you this: real estate is risk. There's no type of investment that there's no sum of risk involved, and you need to face that. And I think one of the things I've learned to start teaching Africans is to understand that risk is okay, right? The money you command today is a function of the level of risk you are willing to take. So it's risky. So, people could have purchased it and it won't appreciate, right? I mean, they could have bought the land and it didn't even appreciate. It was a risk, okay? But they were lucky, maybe because they worked with me and, I'm the man with the sauce. But please, let me warn you, this is not like a everyday occurrence, automatic agenda. Real estate, land banking is also risk. We heard Dr. Olumide Emmanuel telling you how a particular property was not even Nigeria, it was in the UK. It has not appreciated once. Right? I was telling you in South Africa. Right? It has not appreciated. And I knew when many people started making those moves. Some were making it also because, let there be story that, okay, we have property in UK, we have in US. I mean, I do that as well. But I do that from the place of, I first mastered the game very well in a more volatile system, built it well before I started doing in other locations. So please know that there's a risk involved in land banking, but trust me, people have made billions, and I'm a living testimony, and I'm grateful to God. I'm willing to help as many of you who are serious, but you have to be serious, you have to be willing to take risk, and you have to somehow be willing to trust me and still know that I am not perfect, I'm not God, I'm not Jesus. So I leave it at that.
Oh, thank you so much, sir. Thank you. I think it's okay for us to wrap up in 5 minutes maximum. If you will just share with us. So this meeting is strictly for those who want to begin their investment journey. Okay. If you would like Dr. Stephen to mentor you to be a real estate investor, That means you want to buy a property, you want to buy land, you want to buy houses, and so on and so forth, across the countries that we keep talking about, which are UK, US, Dubai, and Nigeria. And of course, he has a real estate company, GTEX Homes, with offices across those other countries. And we have wealth advisors that you can come on a call with and all of that. But I'll let Doctor to talk, about the next steps for people here who are interested in investing. What should they do next? What's their next step?
Okay, so I think the first step is get someone, a mentor to work with, or a guide, or...
No, they are here already, and they are ready for all of that. What's the next step going forward?
Don't assume, Temi. Don't assume, that they are willing. Let's hear from them. How many of you are willing to have me and my team help you in that journey of doing land banking, right? Because, assumption is the mother of frustration, and I love that I'm dealing with people who are sure that's what they want. I don't assume. So we have Sadia, who wants to do UK. Others are willing, but they didn't mention which location. So here's what I'm going to do. I think the first step is Temi is going to drop a number, okay, for you guys right now, and you will just going to send to Temi your full name, the location you want to invest in, and your budget. So you see, real estate is about budget. Now, and I tell people, real estate investment is an action word. It's not a noun, it's an action word. So you can't say I want to do real estate and not be ready to invest. So I have different, 4 levels I can work with you. Number one is for those who are willing to pay for my one-on-one coaching, which goes for $20,000. Number 2 is for those who are ready for my group coaching, that goes for $5,000. Now I give a discount occasionally. Number 3 is to join my university. It's called Stephen Akitayo University. And in that university, there's a lot of content to teach you on different aspects of real estate. Number 4 is for those who already have some savings and just want to dive in, okay, with their savings and not necessarily join a coaching program, as it were. So if you are in that category of you have some savings, you're ready to start some investment, there's a number Temi just posted. For those of you joining on my platform across social media, Jamie is going to give you another number that you can chat. Just state your full name, your budget, and the location you prefer to invest, and we will pick it up from there. What we're going to do for you is some form of guidance. Okay, with this your budget, these are your options, this is what you can do, and it's a matter of time. As long as you trust the process, you're going to be fine. So let me play this. This is just a short TikTok video. You can follow me on TikTok on that particular estate I told you about. Let me just play it again. Are you guys here? Seek Rainfall, October 2019. I was in front of the space. It wasn't a chat like this. It was thick rainforest and a refuge dump. I said, come buy this estate for 1.5 million per plot. And you're going to get good returns. We're going to do interlocking road. We're going to do gatehouse and fence it. Many didn't believe, some believed. Those who believe right now, the value of this estate is 15 million. It has grown by 1,000% in 2.5 years. The truth is this: the reward for your risk is the ROI and the profit that you have made. Now, the proof of of your foolishness and your decision not to take risk is your empty bank account.
Child, that's deep. The proof of your foolishness is your empty bank account. Okay, so I'll leave it at there. Okay.
Wow. Thank you so much, sir. So I have dropped a phone number. I was not aware we are still streaming this live anywhere else. But I've dropped a phone number in the. Sorry, you saying something?
No, I think Jamu disappeared, so he didn't hear you when you said she stopped stream.
Oh, okay, okay. So we are still live on Facebook.
Yes, I know.
Okay, okay, all right. So I have dropped a number in the chat on Zoom. Guys, can you see the number? Once you just click on that number, it takes you straight up to my WhatsApp. Okay, and I would love to call the number out, but how do you stop the live streaming online? I won't want to get the number out to those online.
Jamie, can you end the live streaming, Jamie? Is Jamie there?
I don't think he's here.
So, Chief, you can get in touch with Jamie.
Okay. Okay, so I don't know if anybody here has questions that they would like to ask Doctor. So please go ahead and ask